Sir,
So he has started. Okay, recording also started. Okay, Charan, we'll continue this later on. Now let us continue to our topic. Yeah, good evening, class. I hope you remember that what we read last class. Last class we were talking about the moderates, right? The National Congress. Hello, who are they? Let me find out 1 minute. Oh, Charan, I am talking Yashaswini, Sanmukha, and Vikramji. Yeah, Vikramji, Sanmukha, and Charan. Yeah, Vikramji, few classes. I hope you didn't attend. Anyhow, let us continue that. Last class we saw that two phases of Congress. Formation of Congress 1885, and the first phase was called as the moderate. Second phase is extreme. Between these two, first phase and the second phase, detail about the first phase we saw why they were called as a moderate, whatever their methods, whatever their demands. That was a beginning stage of agitation in India. So before that, we unable to see such type of making of one group and demand to the Britishers. Okay, first step toward the freedom struggle. And as we gave some terms for the Indian National Congress, like that, yeah, safety value and all this. Okay, so now this moderates, during the moderate, one agitation occurred. So we will see that when these moderates were continuing, along with that, in 1907, there was a small problem in the Congress. Problem in the sense, there was a new group of people who entered to the Congress, and those new group of the people, they were called as the extremists. So there was a clash between moderates and the extremists, and that openly we able to see in that Surat split. 1907, there was a split between moderates and the extremists, and that split popularly called as a Surat split. We will go to the Surat split, but before that, let us see the policy of British. One of the famous policy they implemented wherever they visited, which colony they ruled, which country they ruled, in every part of the world, wherever they ruled, they implemented that policy. May I know what was that policy, popular policy they adopted? Even that they apply in India also. May I know any one of you? Can you say that policy? Yes, Aswini? Divide and rule, yeah, that is. So how do they implemented that? If you go to the South Africa, then that policy they implemented in the name of whites and the non-white, which is called as the apartheid. Okay, so in India also they applied that. So in India, of course, they did not apply this apartheid initially. Initially, they saw that there was a good relation between Hindus and the Muslims. So they try to target on that religious division. They try to divide the Indians from the religion point of view. That was the main target. That was the main focus. Otherwise, there was no difference between Hindus and Muslims. They never take such an great issue. Religion was not an issue at all in India before British. But these British to rule India, they try to divide Indians in the name of religion. First attack on religion. For that purpose, as there was a Indian National Congress, they misconvinced to the Muslim people. And yeah, before one issue we discussed that. So Indian National Congress consists of National Party. I hope you know that what is National Party. National Party, it is all India party. They wanted to convince that Indian National Congress is not particularly belongs to any region or religion. It was an all India party, and all people have right over that. That was the intention of Indian National Congress. But the British government, they try to interpret to that, and they convinced the Muslims that most of the Hindus, they were the part of this Congress. So Congress is merely a Hindus party. So that ideology they convinced and they propagated. So based upon that, they encourage the Muslim people to go for their own party. As a result, based upon that, so first stroke they made against the Hindus and Muslims for the creation of one Muslim party. And 1906, they created one party that was called as a Muslim League. Okay, so we'll go to that. What is Muslim League and who were the member and what was its impact? That all we'll discuss later on. But now let us see this Congress, which is going on. In 1905, we faced one problem with the Indian National Congress, and that problem was none other than, along with this division of the party, province also. And that province was rich in a unity between the Hindus and Muslims, and that province was none other than Bengal province. So now the British try to divide the Bengal in the name of administration. Try to understand, children. So what is this Bengal? Present, yeah, present, what is the Bengal? Do we have Bengal? May I write? Yes, Aswini. What is this Bengal? What is your idea about the Bengal? Yes, Aswini. I hope you know that
Yes.
Bengal. Yes, sir. What is Bengal? May I know? Just 1 or 2 points. What is this Bengal at present is called?
Yes.
West Bengal. West Bengal. West Bengal, right?
Yes, sir.
With the
Bengal was divided in 1905 due to
yeah, that
divided
only.
rule policy. It
Yes,
was
sir. Yes,
divided.
sir.
Actual reason is for its British officials and businessmen,
Yeah.
but they convinced that it is for administration purpose.
Very good. Very good. Yeah. Now, which Bengal do we have? Now, which part of Bengal do we have? What is the present Bengal in Indian Union states? In India, West Bengal, right? So very good. Yes, Aswini. So Bengal province, by that time it was consist of part of Bihar, Odisha, Chota Nagpur Plateau. Present, next Bengal. These all provinces were called as a Bengal province by that time, little bit bigger. So what they wanted to do, they try to divide this Bengal. So for division of this Bengal, they gave the reason it is very difficult for. So who was the main person behind that? So it was Lord Curzon, who came to India as a viceroy 1899 to 1905. Lord Curzon. So Lord Curzon, when he came to India, he realized that there was good unity among the Hindus and Muslims in this part. So let us first target that. So based upon the unity of the Hindus and Muslims, they try to divide in the name of administration, and they divided this by that time Bihar, some part of Odisha, some part of Chota Nagpur Plateau, and present East Bengal and the West Bengal. Present West Bengal with India and East Bengal. Now that East Bengal is Charan. What is that East Bengal at present called as? Yeah, Charan, I hope. What is that East Bengal at present? What is the name of this East Bengal at present? Is there any East Bengal now? Okay, you're taking little time. Vikramji, I hope you know that. What is the East Bengal at present called as? You're taking little time. Okay, that East Bengal at present is new. Yes, sir. Yeah. Did you listen, Charan? Vikramji told. So that East Bengal now called as a new country already. Bangladesh, 1971-72, at the time of Indira Gandhi. We will discuss that later on. But now let us come to that Bangladesh, present West Bengal, some part of Bihar, Odisha, Chhattisgarh. That all divided into such a way that East Bengal consists of all the Muslim majority, and West Bengal consists of all the Hindu majority. And this proposal, 1904, Lord Curzon visited to Bengal and he declared that one. And officially it was implemented on 16th October 1905. Actually, in the July month, they declared the declaration. They announced the division declaration, July 1905. It came into force. It was implemented, or they started the division officially on October, 19th October, that is 1905. So when they declared this division, that was opposed by both the Hindus, Muslims, and active role by the Indian National Congress. So Indian National Congress that day was observed as a Raksha Bandhan day. All these Hindus and Muslims, they visited to the holy river Ganga. They took the bath, and then by the time they were inspired by different type of songs. Even Rabindranath Tagore also had written some patriotic song that they inspired, and most prominent was none other than Vande Mataram. The Vande Mataram, which was written by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in his book called Anand Mat. So that word, particularly that Vande Mataram, they greeted each other in the name of Vande Mataram. Then they tie the Rakhi to each other. That shows the unity among the Indians, both Hindus and Muslims, and everyone participated in that. So during this time, so many new concepts we able to get and new ideas we able to get. First concept was none other than this movement was called recognized in different names. First of all, it was called as the anti-partition movement or Bengal anti-division movement. Okay, next, most important is none other than based upon that word used by the leaders, that was none other than Vande Mataram movement. So it is also called as the Vande Mataram movement. Most important is none other than Swadeshi movement. It is also called as the Swadeshi movement. For the first time, we able to create the word Swadeshi, indigenous, self-reliance, self-dependent, such type of words we able to get in this. What was that self-dependent or the self-Swadeshi? Now, boycott of the foreign goods, boycott movement. So we boycott the foreign goods. So we have to indigenous, using of the indigenous goods. Such type of new concept we able to start. As a result, in this movement, some of the young leaders also participated, about whom we are going to discuss along with this. New leaders, Lal Walpal, Tilak, and Arvind Ghosh, Prafulla Chaki, Khudiram Bose. These all are some of the great young leaders. They participated. They created some Swarajya Fund, Tilak Swarajya Fund. In this movement, another greatest contribution we can see the participation of women. Of course, they did not come out, but to create the Swarajya Fund, some money is required. No, so what did they do? The women, they offered their gems and jewelry for that raising of the fund to continue the movement. Along with that, what are the foreign cloth? Those who use the foreign cloth, they collected all the foreign cloth. They put fire. So this is one of the unity. So the British wanted to see that difference. The British wanted to divide the Hindus and Muslims in the name of religion. They divided the Bengal, but that didn't work. It worked negative. It showed the unity among the Hindus and Muslims. British unable to get success. We can say that because they wanted to divide Hindus and Muslims, but because of that Bengal division, Hindus and Muslims, they able to show their unity. So that movement, 1905, first mass agitation we can say. Before that, such type of bigger movement or the agitation we didn't see. So for our Indian freedom struggle, the first mass agitation is considered as the this anti-partition movement or the Swadeshi movement or the Bengal movement, or it is also called as the Vande Mataram movement. And the advance of new leaders such like that youngest leader. So this is Bengal partition, and it had a great long consequence. It able to give a good lesson to the Indians how to unite and how to get how to unite ourselves and how to fight against the British. Such type of a great lesson we got it in this movement, Vande Mataram movement, right? So in this movement, Swadeshi, we saw that main objective was to use the Indian goods, self-help, self-reliance. It was used an economic growth, okay, economic, political, and the spiritual weapon. That Swadeshi became the one of the important factor. Then boycott of the foreign goods and passive resistance. Wherever this Lord he has visited, people agitated against him and they showed the passive resistance. They have taken the pledge in the public meeting. Then they abstain from the use of the foreign goods and they refused to take the foreign medicines, and everything completely patriotic movement, we can say. It is one of the greatest patriotic movement, we can say. So that helpful to raise the feeling of nationalism. So that is one of the greatest achievement, we can say. Now let us see another point. Let us discuss what is the 1907, 1905 it is completed. Now 1907, what happened in the 1907? 1907, if you see, 1907 Surat split. So what is this Surat split? As we know that every time, every year, most of the time, every year, at least once, the Indian National Congress meets with its session everywhere in one place. 1885 age, we know that Congress, and gradually every year one place. 1907, as I told you, that new leaders, a group of new leaders, they were Indians by birth. Okay, very good, Indians by birth, but they were highly educated, the Western ideology, the Western knowledge. Okay, those people, they came to participate in the Indian National Congress. But the early leader who were there, they did not have that concept. There was a little bit ideological differences. So that ideological differences, initially it was there. At the time of Bengal division also it was there, but it was openly we able to see in the Surat. Basically what happened, one was led by the Tilak, another was led by the Dadabhai Nauroji, Badruddin Taibji, Umesh Chandra Banerjee. They were one group, and otherwise these young leaders. So initially 1907, they particularly thought that to make this movement at Nagpur. But Nagpur, as we know that there was a good leader of the extremists. Finally, it was decided to shift to Surat. In the Surat, openly, there was a difference between the ideology of both the moderates and the extremists, and they completely Surat, the session of the Congress, 26th December 1907. The moderates and the extremists, they attended that. Surat assumed more of the aspect of the plan, and it was between the two groups, as I told you already. With this session, next day, 27th December, the proceeding was started, and they try to, termination of Surendranath Banerjee, who had his speech in the second proposal for the leaders. Then Aurobindo Ghosh also wanted to give importance to the extremists, but the moderates, they did not agree with that. They called the National Conference to carry the Congress, and this was 28th December also. So 26th, 27th, 28th December 1907, they met at Surat, and this Congress finally divided. Initial beginning near about 1600 delegates were there, but on 28th, this delegation reduced to near about 900. It indicates how effect it was. That Surat split openly divide the Congress into two parts, moderates and the extremists. Then question arises, who are the extremists? What was their methods? So these extremists little bit aggressive, and they had some concept. What are the concept? How they inspired these extremists? They, as I told you, their methods were a little bit aggressive. In last class, we discussed that what were the methods of the moderate. Again, I'm not repeating that. I hope you can remember that. So these extremists, they wanted to achieve everything in an aggressive method. Then what was their inspiration? See, these extremists, they followed the Indian culture, tradition. They were inspired by the Indian Shivaji, we can say, or that is none other than Rani Lakshmibai, or such type of ancient culture, tradition. They went through that, and they try to get the inspiration from that. In that way, they try to lead the Congress. Whereas the moderates didn't agree with that, and they thought that they are misguiding the Indian National Congress. Both, vice versa. Both. They blamed each other that they are misleading the Congress, both the way. So in spite of all this, the leaders like Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Lal Bal Pal, popularly called as Lal Bal Pal, Lala Laspati Rai, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Bipin Chandra Pal, Aurobindo Ghosh, Prafulla Chaki. Okay, they made their own regulation, their own demands, and by that time, within this division of these moderates and the extremists in Surat, in 1909, the British government has given some of the new ideology that was called as a Morley-Minto reform. In that Morley-Minto reform, legislative assembly, legislative council members, then the reservation for the Muslim people, such type of some reforms they gave, but that was also opposed by both the moderates and the extremists. So this is the period of Indian National Congress between 1905 to 1909. 1909, as we know that Morley-Minto reform. 10, in the meantime, 1914, there was a beginning of World War One. During this World War One, 1914, so by the time as Congress able to increase a little bit a strong position in India, the British government, um, yeah, let us go a little bit deeper into this World War One. May I know what was the groups of this World War One? How the World War One divided? What are the two groups? Anyone? There were two groups. One is called as a Triple Alliance and Triple Entente. Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente. Okay. So Triple Alliance and Triple Entente. In the Triple Entente, Triple Alliance. See, 1 minute. Let us go to little bit nationalism in Europe. There we saw that German unification. Children, once you note down, German unification. 1870-71, Germany got unification. From France, it took that Alsace and Lawrence and got the unification. But Germany had fear. In future, even France may attack. Out of that fear, Germany secretly joined its hand with Austria-Hungary in 1878, and that was called as a dual alliance. Germany secretly joined its hands with Austria-Hungary in 1878, and that was called as a dual alliance. In that dual alliance, Italy joined in 1882, and that was called as the dual alliance converted into triple alliance. So in one group, simply you remember Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. They were one group and their supporter countries. On the other hand, when Germany secretly created this, on the other hand, France also joined the hands with England, England, Russia, America. They made another group, and this was called as the Triple Entente. So now the world became bipolar once again. Before 1940, 1914, and along with it, so many causes are there that we are not discussing now. Our main intention is these two division. Then India, where should India join? Obvious, as India was ruled by the British government. So British government took permission. See the important point here. At the eve of World War One, the importance of Indian National Congress so important that at the time of war, British government seek the permission of Indian National Congress to declare India's participation in the war. That was the greatest achievement of this greatest Indian National Congress. Anyhow, British promised something that after war we may give some reform, and with that India also participated. War came into end. Our important after the war, what was the impact of the war on India? What were the results that all we are not discussing now? As we are discussing Indian freedom struggle, what is the impact of World War One on Indian freedom struggle? Yes, children, the war came into end in 1918. 1918, the British government implemented two things to the Indian National Congress or India. One is they declared that, some province. They declared that dual government. What is a dual government? Now the British, now 1800, sorry, 1918, the British government gave some sort of reform to the Indians. Number one, what is a reform? Now they divided the government into two parts. Few powers they kept with them, another few powers they gave to the Indians. Few local powers. Okay, anyhow, which we didn't get anything from the British government. For the first time, the British government offered the self-government or the self-rule or the provincial autonomy, like that. Some words they implemented, they gave to Indians. That is one. Number two, on the same year, they implemented once again that divide and rule policy, because the Indian British government never tried to give in encouragement to the nationalists. All the time they try to suppress the feeling of nationalism in India. And this time, 1919, after the war, they once again try to suppress the feeling of nationalism in India. How? So in one hand, I told you, they gave the reform. On the other hand, what did they do? They implemented a new rule called Rowlatt Act. What was that Rowlatt Act? Under the Rowlatt Act, the British police were empowered. They gave more power to the British police. As a result, British police can arrest anyone out of suspect and put into the jail directly without giving a chance of trial for minimum 2 years. And this act was implemented in India, famous, or it was notoriously, it was called as a Rowlatt Act. Try to understand. Under this Rowlatt Act, once again, the British government tried to create fear among the unity of Indians. Again, they try to divide the Indians, because out of the fear of the British, the Hindus, the Muslims, they cannot come together, they cannot show the agitation, they cannot fight against the British. Such type of step taken by the British government by imposing the Rowlatt Act. In one hand, India's participation in the war, they gave little reform. On the other hand, they suppress the freedom, or they suppress the unity among the Hindus and Muslim or the nationalist. They try to suppress the feeling of the nationalism in India by implementing Rowlatt Act. So these are the steps, great result of the World War I on Indian nationalism. Okay, I hope you understood this. What is this Rowlatt Act? Let us come to know a little bit from the, yeah, Vishnuji, you are good at, I hope. Sanmukha, did you understand that Rowlatt Act? Within 2 minutes, you have to say fast. Sanmukha, respond fast. Within 2 minutes. Sanmukha is not. Pavaniji, Rowlatt Act. Pavaniji, am I audible? Yeah, what is Rowlatt Act? Understood, no? Within just the gist, within 1 or 2 minutes. Fast.
Sir, I can't explain in English fluently, sir.
No problem. Yeah, the way you understood, just one sentence enough. No need of fluence and all this. What did you understand that? Yeah. The way you understood, please. Yeah.
Sir,
Under the Rowlatt Act. Yeah. Continue.
Sir, sorry, sir.
Okay. No problem. You're hearing. No need to fear. We all are under the learning process. Please continue. The way you understood, just one sentence you explain. Okay, I am giving chance to Sanmukh, this Vishnuji or yeah, Vishnuji, within one sentence. Rowlatt Act. Vishnu Kumarji.
Hello. Yes, sir.
Sir. Yeah, just within one sentence. Rowlatt Act.
Sir, the British can arrest or make the suspect culprit without any further type of investigations. I mean, they can just arrest the suspects.
Yeah, they can arrest, and arrest is not a problem. They can send directly to the jail without giving a trial. That's the important.
Yes, sir.
Under the Rowlatt Act. So what is the Indian criminal code? The criminal procedure is police cannot send or give any punishment to the any Indians. Okay, that is now in Indian system. So police work is only to arrest and hand over the arrestee. We cannot say even culprit or the what arrestee we can say. So that police can hand over the arrestee nearby court within 24 hours. Not more than that. Even police cannot keep that arrestee more than 24 hours. But here, under the Rowlatt Act, they gave that much of supreme power to the police that the police can arrest anyone out of suspect. Okay, out of suspect. That is the important. That is the point number one. And can send directly to the jail for minimum 2 years. That is the second problem. So in this two wrongful methods of arrest and sending to the jail, so that empower the police and it create fear among the Indians for further revolt or the agitation or giving view against the British. So this is one of the method adopted by the British government to suppress the feeling of nationalism. 1919. Okay, so in this way, the British try to suppress, and this is also the extremists. They didn't agree with that, and the extremists they opposed this one. And to oppose this one, they made the rallies and the agitation against the Rowlatt Act. So on the street, the Indian National Congress, they gave the slogan and they tried to come out on the streets. They gave the opposition to the British and all this. Again, to suppress this agitation against the Rowlatt Act, the British further took the step. What did they do? For the first time, they arrested the leaders, frontline agitators. They introduced one. The British, the Indian agitators, they have to do salam to the British police officer. Number one. Number two, those who are opposing the Rowlatt Act, they have
So
to
the time
rub.
is meeting is going to end. Do you want to continue for another 5 minutes or you want?
Yeah, ma'am. 5 minutes I will complete
No,
because
no
it is a
problem.
little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, ma'am. We'll join again.
Please join again, Chandra.